Assalamu alaikum everyone, and welcome back to the Bitcoin update. Today you might actually see how much messed up my charts really are for Bitcoin, but today I have an important update coming up your way, and I think that Bitcoin is probably going to move all the way down to 99 or perhaps going to move to $94,000. There is a CME gap at $91,000, so it's been a while. I haven't talked about Bitcoin, and it's important that I talk about it because Bitcoin is really going to be the main big player. So for quite some time, Bitcoin has done a lot. Actually, you know what? I was actually thinking of doing a very quick update, but I'm going to do a detailed analysis right here, right now, so that we can get to know what Bitcoin is doing. So Bitcoin has very random chart patterns. It looks as if it is being manipulated way too much. And that's true. Yes, there is a lot of manipulation, especially on the lower time frame. 1 minute and 5 minutes, just don't do that. Trading on 1 minute and 5 minutes, it is really risky. But then when I start, okay, I'm going to start off with the daily, right? So follow along with me and listen very carefully to what I'm about to say. Bitcoin right now on the daily time frame has an incredible bearish divergence. You can see the RSI is literally falling down, and the prices here as well are different to one another. So I'm just going to bring the RSI just like that, zoom in out like this, and we're going to take the pattern, the RSI again, and here it is. So the prices are a little bit to the side, and you can see the RSI is just falling down and coming down, which means that there's a profit taking going on as well. And one more thing is that even this does look like a distribution of this one right over here, right? So this big version is almost as if this is a smaller version of that thing, because if I have to go a little bit more in the detail, and I'm actually going to put this away and let's actually zoom in here, you can see that just as you had this double top right in here is almost as the same as you had this double top, and as you were going down like this, that's the same way you're going down, just like that, okay? And eventually you pop to the downside, and eventually you might expect another push to the downside for Bitcoin as well, and then start an accumulation and then go back up to the upside. So it's not going to be a very big fall, and I'm going to tell you how this fall makes a lot of logic. If we just zoom out a little bit more, there's a huge channel going on for Bitcoin, and Bitcoin can move to 150,000 later this year. So let's talk about this one very quickly. And with that being said, I have a lot of things planned up on the private, which were opened up for Q3 and July. So it could be an amazing time for you to join, even though the whole year has been manipulated and you've kind of like lost all the hope in crypto. But I'm relearning, I'm really checking everything else, and even though there's a war going on and whatnot, yeah, altcoins are really bad, I know that. But Bitcoin can still move up. Maybe there's a lot of chances that later the year we see a lot of movement from altcoins. So number one is this huge trend line I discovered. Look at this, beautiful, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, another potential move down. As you can see, it can actually go to 90,000, 91,000, and again there's CME gap at 91K, so it makes total sense, and that is also where the biggest support really is. Now, when I say $150,000, we've recognized the support line, and look at the resistance line. So if I do drop a trend line just like that, right, it does look like if Bitcoin actually drops to 90K, it does something like this. It goes to 90K and then pushes up. From here, you can see that actually takes it to $150,000, and you can short again, it goes down. So I'm giving you like zoom out, right? I always say this, go be a bird here, look down what is going on, and you'll understand what's really going on. Sometimes it's just not a good idea to always look at the 15 minutes. The daily has a lot of clarity, weekly has a lot of clarity. I've actually shown you this. So if, yeah, Bitcoin if actually does retrace down again to that trend line, just know that you have already been informed, and that's my work. I'm a messenger here. But the thing is, it is safe to also say that Bitcoin is in the middle of the channel, isn't it? And it is hard to really tell you that it's obviously gonna drop to 90K. It is hard. All I'm saying is the odds are there's a bearish divergence and it can drop down there. That's the only reason I have, and a distribution pattern as I showed you. Otherwise, if let's say you break and you go back to $114,000, you could just pick the direction to go all the way up to 150 from here as well. So you can either just push to 150, or drop to 90k, then go to 150, which is the likely scenario that you just drop down and go up. Q3 is actually known for that, and Q4, it makes total sense for Q4. That's why I say join Q3, let's have those discounts, let me give you the entry on an altcoin. By Q4 you have the potential to get a 2x. I don't know if the plan sounds dumb to you or not, but then again, we're just going to use a very small risk for this one. So what do you think? But the worst case scenario is that Bitcoin goes down, retest the trend line, and then it fails. It fails and then it starts to actually go down. Right? That's the worst case scenario that can ever happen. And I cannot even answer if there is a possibility right now or not. Now let's go back into 4 minutes time frame, and I want to show you the last piece of puzzle on the lower time frame here, and why from here Bitcoin can start to move down again. So Bitcoin has resistance, and this resistance you can see is on the 4-hour time frame right now. So if look, this is how manipulation works, but if you change time frame, you're going to understand it. Now if I had to look at the 15 minutes time frame, a lot of traders always have their own comments, and this is going to look as if this is, hey Adam Coins, Bitcoin has a move up, and I think Bitcoin has made a bull flag here. You can, oh my goodness, the bull flag is crossed, the retest has happened, the bull flag is going to go to this technical target. I think Bitcoin is actually going to move to $111,000. Now this does look like a bull flag, but then when it's going to fail and go down, you're going to say it's manipulated. Now the reason being is the 4-hour time frame is something you really didn't look at, and the 4-hour time frame has a resistance, and it actually looks just like this, right? Just like this, and you will buy off the resistance thinking that this was a bull flag. All right, now however, let's say you push above that resistance and you go to $107,000 and you come down for the retest to 105, then you're good to actually go to that 111,000. Then fine, you can actually see it takes you back to that near all-time high again, and you can open up a short position right here, or it can just get rejected and go down. Now the reason why I think it's going to get rejected and not pushed to the upside is the Elliott wave theory. So basically the Elliott wave theory looks like this. So the first wave down, the second wave up, third wave down, fourth wave up. Now the fifth wave doesn't go up, right? The fifth wave is not to the upside, and the fifth wave is going to be to the downside. Now either you go to 94 or you come down and make a flat double bottom at $98,000. That's a different story, but I think it's going to go below 98,000 and maybe drop to 94, something like that, or maybe 98. So between 98k and 94k. So I hope you enjoyed the update. You can join us for Q3 in July. As you can see, I have some entries planned along down the road, which are going to be super high profitable, hopefully down the road, with low risk, of course. And that's it for the video. I'm going to see you the next one. Office.